is the description of the individual format. And let's say if it contains ProRes, so if it finds ProRes of any kind, and now let's take a look at our smart folder, boom. So I just very quickly created a smart folder of all the clips and all the ones I've managed, and I know that these are all ProRes. Pretty handy tool. So now let's take a look at the panels. All of these panels are highly configurable. And you'll see what I mean. So by default, as I come upon this CatDV instance, it's got a lot of information. So here's one called a summary panel that includes pretty helpful information. The name, maybe someone on the team has, we've assigned different star ratings to different pieces that are helpful for some reason. I can see that this individual footage was shot in June of 2019. And if I need to know exactly where this file is stored, well, that's pretty simple. It's on the root of our H4000 Essential folder, and here's its name. And then here's that hidden proxy file. Let's say, for example, we want to actually ingest and log a lot of content. Well, this would be a very helpful panel to go ahead and enter information that goes here. But in this particular panel, we've configured it to also include review and approve. So let's say this particular clip is awaiting approval. We want to make sure it meets some standard. Maybe we want to make sure we have clearance to show these horses or these jockeys. So let's go ahead and enter a note for that. Make sure have clearance to show any, let's say, brand names. Seems reasonable. Let's explore some other panels. Technical, in this individual case, it's a movie. Here's the aspect ratio. Here's the last time it was changed. And if I want particulars in the video codec that it was shot with, markers. Someone added a marker. Make sure dirt matches shot from this angle. There you go. Very nice. So we know that we can tell the editor in this particular case that they want to do some matching if they're putting different angles on a shot together. More very interesting panels. The CatDV worker node very helpfully tells you every time it does something to a piece of content. It can be very helpful to track its sort of life cycle. And here is something called collaboration. So let's say I know there's another user on this system called Dougal. So I'm going to tell him, please note this clip and let us know on any clearances needed. So now I've entered this conversation that can go back and forth now on this individual clip that we can refer to as we, as a team, continue to use it. A couple other things on this little tour. Let's say I want to just scrub around on all different kinds of files. I want to browse through all the individual clips. Here's a nice way to do it. And frankly, if I want to build clip lists, here's how I do them here. So all in all, fantastic interface, highly customizable, and a very nice way to quickly and visually search for and find your content. So speaking of search, let's go ahead and go back to our catalog. And let's say I want to find all my clips that have been tagged somewhere in the notes field, in the file name, etc. Man, boom, nice and fast. How about, very nice. How about data center? Boom, very nice. So search also is something you're going to use quite a bit. And then advanced search lets you build highly customizable search terms based on almost any aspect of information about these files that you want to search on. So it's very, very highly configurable should you need it. So now a little bit more about panels and views. So I'm an admin. So I'm going to now click over to the admin section. We looked at workers, where we can make sure that the individual workers are doing things like finding files, building the proxy versions, etc. But let's explore some of this information. If we are working on a 24-hour clock or not, we can set that here. Do we allow a remote team to allow proxy and original downloads? In some cases, you may not want to. This is where we would create more users. So let's go ahead and add one for Skip. And we're just going to do a default password for this demo. But as you can see, I can assign this user two different roles. The ability to go in and change the configuration, system admin, or as a user. Well, since I'm a system administrator, I'm going to leave it at that. Boom. And we'll add one more. And we'll call this our editor. Let's say it's Amy. And Amy is a user. So let's now log in as Amy. And we compare these two systems side by side. So we'll log out on this window. Log in as Amy. Okay, so notice Amy sees the exact same information that everyone else does. And in fact, is still on, but you'll notice what's missing is the ability to go in and change the system itself. So back to our administrator. We talked about panels. These are the panels that appear on the right-hand side here and are highly configurable for your environment. So these individual panels can be modified or changed. Well, in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and log in as Skip. Very smartly, the system logged me out because on the same system it noticed probably two different connections. So I'm Skip, I'm an admin, so I have access to this page. So under Fields and Panels, I can add new panels. So we'll go ahead and add a test one. So test panel. And of type, I might want to make it one for chat, for review and approve, or something else. I can then add individual fields of interest and pull them over. And now that I have test panel, in views, if you'll recall, we've got the individual views as a list thumbnail film strip. So it's list grid film strip. And if you recall also that each of them had different versions or variations. Well, I can modify each one of those. So let's say we are looking at grid and large. So grid large. So now perhaps I want to add different fields to what is seen on grid large. Well, I can pick and choose these individual ones and move it over here, and I can even click and change the order of any of these. And now I see size where I didn't see it before. So the big takeaway here is fields, panels, and views are all highly customizable, highly configurable to how your team likes to work. And if you want to change, if you want to configure or customize fields, panels, or views, I recommend working with the system as is, reading the CatDV documentation pretty carefully, testing the changes in one small area, and in other words, make changes carefully and by degrees rather than wholesale, especially if users are up and running and working on it. So I hope that gave you a good overview of both the StoreNext system and the CatDV system and all of its great potential.